Welcome to Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure. Keeping you informed on faith and family entertainment.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Faith on Film. Holly, how are you doing today?
Doing great. This is a fun show. I'm excited about this show. It's got fun interviews, great interviews, and very interesting.
Yes, it is. Now, a few weeks ago, we had the opportunity to watch a film, Divine Influencer, and we interviewed the director of it. Well, today we have I'm going to say the male part of the rom-com. So he would be the male rom.
The romantic part.
The romantic part. So we got a chance to interview I got a chance to interview the male star of the movie, Jason Burkey. So let's take a look at the trailer, and when we come back, well, I'll be talking to Jason.
Serving here is helping me find God.
Hey guys, it's Liv.
Oh, 360,000 followers.
Cute. Tag me in that.
You can't shake me. You can't break me.
So on trend, smash that subscribe button.
Stay tuned.
Who bought all this adorable stuff? It's moi.
I love influencing people, like where to shop, who to know. Hi, Mom.
We're cutting you off financially.
No.
We're only doing this because we love you.
I used to have the most amazing life. A beautiful home.
My life is in shambles. I need to sell some of these. No, Bruno, freeze!
Olivia, I had the locker next to yours. I work at Harvest Rescue Mission.
I was hoping you might have a job for me.
You'd have to live here, and
I'd have to live here?
I'm asking you to put her to work.
Guess it can't get any worse than this. Oh, okay. I get it.
The truth is, we're just running out of money. We'll have to close the shelter.
That's not an option.
How can I help?
You know, the shelter is a place for second chances. Could influence people here.
You've got to plan something that people believe they can't afford to miss.
Liv might just rescue our rescue mission.
See you at the gala.
She's a complete fraud.
Ryan, wait, please, wait. I was desperate for a place to stay.
What you do, it affects other people.
I thought I was on the right track.
You got this.
Give me a sign.
True influence is having people follow you because of how you positively affect them.
When I was an influencer, I really thought I was making a difference. Serving here is helping me find my purpose. Being here is helping me find God.
Jason, welcome to Faith on Film.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you bet. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke with Sherry Rigby, who, of course, is the director of the movie Divine Influencer, of who you are one of the stars. And we'll be talking about that today. But I was looking over at your IMDb page, and I noticed you've been in like 75 different projects, dating all the way back to, I think it's 2009. By now, it may even be over 75. I don't know. But before we get started and you talking about Divine Influencer, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started in acting?
Yeah, I grew up kind of in a theater home. My mom was a theater director and actress, and so I grew up doing theater my whole life, all the way through college. And it was after college that I decided to pursue acting, and it was something that was always in me that I loved to do. I never thought that it was a realistic career choice, and when I dive into things, I just kind of dive in head first. And so I did that with acting back in 2008 or so, and I haven't looked back. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's such a collaborative thing. Filmmaking is the most collaborative art form, I think, and I love being a part of that.
Now, were you a believer already back then? Because I know pretty much all the projects I've seen you on are Christian projects. Were you a Christian at that time, or was it something that happened later?
Yeah, I grew up in a Christian home, absolutely, and it just happened to be that my career started in the faith-based world. It was when I met the Irwin brothers, who were directors, And we worked on a project together, and that led us to doing the movie October Baby. And then once October Baby came out, it really kind of blew open doors for me to do more faith-based films. And so since I moved to Atlanta, I've also been able to do a lot of television and some other movies as well. So, yeah.
I see. Now, okay, so Divine Influencer is, of course, I guess the latest project that you are part of. Can you tell us a little bit about how this came about, how you ended up getting cast for this role?
Yeah, so Sherry Rigby, the director, we worked together and we met on October Baby back in 2009. And so we remained good friends. And when I saw the audition for this movie kind of, come across my inbox, and I saw Sherry was directing it, I wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, auditioned for it, had a callback for it with Laura, who plays Olivia, and we just had a great chemistry, and I'm glad that it worked out, because it was really a fun experience to be able to be directed by Sherry. So many years later.
So it was great working with her then. You can tell us the truth.
Yes, that is the truth. Yeah, she's a great director, because she's also an actress, so she knows how to speak to actors. She knows how to get what she needs, and she's really open to collaboration, and that's huge. So, yeah.
She's also such a great person.
Yes, that too. That helps. That helps. You don't always get that.
I've known lots of directors, and we won't get into that.
Right. Yeah.
So okay, what do you find to be the most important message of Divine Influencer?
I would say ultimately the message is be open to what God's purpose for your life is. You may think that it's one thing,
right?
And it could be something totally else. You could, like Olivia in the movie, loses everything and then discovers what true influence means when she starts working at this homeless shelter. So I think being open to where God's leading you, and follow that path, even if it seems crazy or doesn't make sense, which is easier said than done. But yeah.
Well, one thing that I found is, number one, that it's very relevant to today, because the internet and social media has just made stars out of so many people with, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but with not a whole lot to say other than to just do silly stuff. I mean, in her case, it was shopping. Right. Okay.
Right.
And yet I feel like there's so much more that could be done, like you said, as an influencer. And so this film really did kind of point out, look, you're an influencer, but you can really make an impact with the fact that you are an influencer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm with you. Yeah, I think nowadays people are just famous for being famous, and it's like, don't know what they're contributing. And there are others that are contributing great things. So yeah, I think it's very important to use whatever platform you have to help others in some way, to give back.
I tell you what drives me a little crazy sometimes about people is I'll sometimes post something, and I'm not an influencer in any way, shape, or form, but I'll post something, really deep, some kind of spiritual message of some sort. A few people will, like it, and maybe a couple might comment. Then I'll post something more personal, where I literally fell one time. I fell down. I was on a cruise, and I'm taping myself. I'm thinking, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to tape myself walking. And I fall down. I post that. Suddenly, I'm getting thousands of views.
Yeah, millions. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's like, I don't know why. People love watching other people fall.
They must. So anyway, Now, was there a particular scene that maybe, I know there was a lot of very emotional scenes and just a lot of real poignant scenes, but is there something that, a specific scene that maybe you liked the best?
Oh,
Tough
gosh.
question.
That is really tough.
I didn't mean to stump you.
I know. I'm always stumped with this question, though. On any project, they're like, "What's my favorite?"
Right.
I think one of them was a scene where Olivia and my character Ryan. We just got some really great news about the homeless shelter, and we're going out to celebrate. So we walked to go to this taco truck, and her character and mine, we went to high school together back in the day, and this is the first time we reconnect in this movie 10 years later. And so you get to find out a little bit more about Ryan's past, and she apologizes for the way she was in high school. And so it was a great scene for both of our characters to kind of to reconnect so many years later after high school. I think it was just a fun scene, and we shot it at night, and it was freezing outside, and we kind of had to pretend we weren't cold, so that's always fun. But yeah, that was one that stands out.
Oh, well, nice. It's great to see the quality of faith-based movies just really beginning to rise in the past few years. And this is definitely one of those. I enjoyed it. It's available on PureFlix. So folks, get out there. If you are a follower of PureFlix, get out there and watch it. If you're not, subscribe now because you don't want to miss this movie. Jason, anything new that you might be working on that you can tell us about? I know a lot of times we ask this question and the actor or director or producer will say, yeah, but I can't talk about it right now.
No, I can't talk about it.
Is there something you could talk about?
Yes, yeah. I just I had a small supporting role on the movie The Beanie Bubble that's on Apple TV right now about
the Beanie Bubble,
the Beanie Baby explosion of the 90s. So worked on that, and then I've got a film coming out next year called The Paper Bear. That's really kind of a conservation film about protecting the wildlife down in the Panhandle in Florida, which is the most biodiverse area in the country down there. So that's one I'm really proud of. That should be out sometime next year.
Cool. Well, listen, how can people follow you so that they're aware of everything that you're doing?
Yeah, I haven't been on social media in 10 years, so it's kind of hard to follow me. But
well, just give them your personal address.
Website, jasonburkey.net. You can find me there.
Okay.
Or, find me on the sidewalk somewhere. Be fine.
Well, listen, it was great having you on. We had hoped that we'd put you on together with Sherry, but it didn't work out. But I'm glad we had a chance to do it now.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Folks, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jason Burkey from Divine Influencer, and you're watching Faith on Film.
Folks, you can watch the movie still on PureFlix. It's a wonderful family movie, isn't it, Holly?
It is. It really is. And it's a sweet story. I'm so proud of Sherry Rigby, really. I am for producing, doing what she's done with it. I really am.
Yeah.
We've got another movie, though, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Now, would you say it's a family movie?
No, I would not. In fact, when I went, there were mostly couples. And I'm telling you, first of all, we're talking about The Blind, folks. And this is a movie about Phil Robertson and Miss Kay. And it's the story of how the story began, really, and where he came from and his roots. But when I went, Isaac, I got one last seat. There was one last seat. I mean, it was full. And so I know we're in the Bible Belt, so that probably makes a difference too. But this audience, these are the people that love Duck Dynasty. These are the people that have watched the show. These are the people that love what they stand for. And the movie is set in the 60s in Louisiana, and it's about Phil Robertson. And I didn't realize, I knew that he had a volatile past, but I did not realize about his mother. He came from a home where the father was always gone. The mother had probably imbalance problems. She would rail off and get hauled off to insane asylums. I mean, he had to take care of younger brothers and sisters. And so it was on him to go out and hunt and fish and get food and bring it in. So what an upbringing. It talks about how he meets Miss Kay, how he found out he was good at football, and it goes into his football career. surprising. I did not know that he knew Terry Bradshaw and that they went to school together and they hung around together. And Terry Bradshaw was like, "You're better than me." And he goes, "You know what? I'm gonna drop out of school, the college that they were going to." And he said, "You go ahead and step in, you take it." And I thought that was an interesting pivotal point in the story. And then he also talks about, how they started their family and the struggles that they went through. He owned a bar and the things that really the challenges he went through with his anger and temper that he reflected back was much like his mother and much like what he'd grown up with. And he was exemplifying that in his own life. Aaron Von Andrian stars as Phil, and Audie Eve stars as Miss Kay. I've never heard of those two actors before, but I thought they did an amazing job in this movie. They were really good in this movie. I think couples will enjoy it. My take was, of course, you love the Duck Dynasty, and at the end, I mean, I'm not giving away anything, folks. If you've watched them at all, you know some of it, and there's going to be some surprises. But at the end, I love it how Phil comes on and gives his own testimony. Yes. It's very touching, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I felt that a lot of it set in the 60s and 70s, but I felt that a lot of men are going to sit there and really reflect, because it really points out the importance of being with your kids and spending time with those children, and how important that is with family and your wife. And staying with the family, and it's fun to go out with the guys, and it's fun to go out, hunting and fishing and doing all the fun stuff. But family was important, and at the very end, that's what we all recognize about Duck Dynasty as family. That's what they've represented so well. What do you think about it, Isaac?
Well, now, first of all, let me clarify. When I said it's not really a family movie, now it's not a family movie because it's not a movie for the kiddies. But it is a Christian movie, okay?
As a film critic, what I would say, it's not kid-friendly. So
it's not kid-friendly, exactly.
Yeah, it is a family film for, I think, older kids and mature teens, kids, preteens, and with their parents. And if they love Duck Dynasty, it's a redemptive story. So, but there is some, yelling and throwing people around and some punching and some, we're going to be obvious. There is that in this film because it's a true story.
There's no cussing, so it's very safe here in this case. Now, I had no idea, and I've been a Duck Dynasty fan, mostly because my son just loved it when Duck Dynasty show was on. And so he got me watching it. So I've been a fan of that. But I had no idea that he was actually that violent. I mean, I figured, okay, if you were not a Christian before, you were maybe not a nice guy. But this really pointed out how rough he was. I mean...
Well, he talked about his alcoholism and how he had a problem with alcohol, and then also from his family, the demons from his past. And so that was very evident, that it came out, and plus, remember, this is backwoods Louisiana in the swamp. This is a whole different world. It was hey, buddy, let's go have drink, shell, let's have beer. I mean, I kind of get it because that's what that culture was at that time, so to speak. It's not like he was in another big city.
It was pretty foreign to me. It was pretty foreign to me. What else? What else I thought was pretty cool, and I don't know if this is really how it happened. It might have been added for just for dramatic effect, but how he discovered the whole idea of creating those duck calls. Yes. That was the cutest thing.
That's true. I worked on a film called Believe years ago in Monroe, Louisiana, and we got a chance to go visit the Duck Dynasty shop. And then, of course, Cy came to the set, which was really fun, and got a chance to talk to him. And when you visit their store, they show you how they made those duck calls and what made them famous. And boy, I mean, that little thing that he loved to do, once again, that thing God gives you that you love to do.
Exactly. That's what I found cool.
And it blesses you.
That's what I found really cool. Now, is it still available to go watch? I mean, we saw it in theaters.
Listen, Hollywood was against it, trying not to get that movie released in theaters, but boy, it is. And please go support it. Please go see it. There are still theaters that are doing it. I don't know if it's nationwide or worldwide, but I know it's in the South. And it's worth seeing, folks. You will enjoy this movie. Excellent. The Blind.
Well, I'm excited about a new segment that we're releasing today. And the reason I'm doing it is because, Holly, you have been involved in the Hollywood side of things for such a long time. And you've done some great interviews. And you've done interviews on movies that maybe are not Christian movies or Hollywood movies, but they're good, safe movies for us as Christians. And I decided, I found some of these in the vault. I like how that sounds. And I decided, let's put those out and have people watch your interviews with people. In today's release is going to be Henry Winkler and Kevin James. What do you think?
That's right. Well, we decided to do it, and it is fun. Let's take a look.
I had to convince you a little bit.
I'm watching them again. It's fun.
All right. Well, here we go. Take a look.
I love this movie too.
Thank you.
And I love the fact, well, one of the things was I love the Holly Holy song, because I gotta admit, when they played that song, I'm like, yeah, because I love Neil Diamond, but Holly, being named Holly all my life, I love that song.
I love Neil Diamond too.
Don't you love that song?
I got to meet him.
Did you?
You know, along the way. I love that song. I was in college, I think, when that song came out. That it always moved me then, and so boom, and there it was.
And it was so unusual to have it in the movie, but I thought it worked well. It was funny.
Thank you.
Love the role too. I agree with you. This is a movie you can get excited about for many reasons, but I love the passion behind it, about getting kids to rally, because it's real. This is what we're dealing with in school these days.
You bet.
And you got to actually conduct and lead an
Unbelievable.
Did you get to do that?
They were, the 60 kids they're a real orchestra. They are in a school outside of Boston. Some of them still tweet me. It was moving because we heard the piece of music. So I love that piece of music, and it was so emotional to conduct them, and we became instantly connected. I loved it.
You know, you've been admired all your life, really, as an actor. You have scores of generation of kids, and, you know, a lot to your credit from Happy Days on, but, you know, and, you know, I heard you just got inaugurated by the Queen. You've got it
yes.
For writing, right?
Yes, she gave me the Order of the British Empire, and for the work that I do in England with children who learn differently, for the children's books that I write.
So people may not even know that. That's part of you really have a passion for working beyond just acting with kids.
I do. If I was not an actor, I would like to have been a psychologist to work with children to make sure that their self-image was straight and strong.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did that birth out of the roles that you played?
It birthed out of knowing what it was like to be a bowl of Jell-O, to not have a center, to not be strong and straight.
Interesting. And then now what you're doing, you've written and you're doing the films and movies, but what other projects do you have that you haven't done that you want to do for?
So Here Comes the Boom opens on October 14th, October 12th, October 12th. And November 14th, I open on Broadway in a romantic comedy.
You do?
I do.
Okay, and there you go. A romantic comedy.
Yes, called The Performers. It is a PG-16, where so Broadway is PG-16, and Here Comes the Boom. You can take an 8-year-old and grandma, and everybody will cheer.
And why do you think it is that people, what is it they connect with you and love about you? I know it's hard to say, but
I don't know. I can't answer that question. That is truly something you have to ask somebody else. What I am is grateful that they do. I'm grateful that I said yes to be in Here Comes the Boom.
And what is your, last question, what is your passion, what you say? Because the passion of your character is for music and that it's important in life, and in learning, and there's different passions that was the kind of touchstone for Here Comes the Boom.
So my passion in my life are my children in general, and fly fishing for trout. I love to fly fish for trout.
Do you really?
It is one of the greatest things I think a human being can do on the earth.
Really? I've never done it, so I'll have to.
You are in a beautiful place. It is like a washing machine for your brain. The only adult book I ever wrote is about fly fishing for trout.
Love this movie.
Thank you.
No, I loved it.
Really?
Like, I went in thinking, oh, it'll be cute and it's funny with the previews, but liked it so much more and brought my 26-year-old son and his cousin, and the 20-year-olds love it. So I'm telling you, you got to hit.
You need to spread that word.
20-something hits love it.
I'm depending on you.
No, it is really good.
Well, thanks.
And I love things about the passion that was in it, but and that used Holly Holy. Don't know why, but since my name is Holly, love that.
It worked. It was. Can I say something?
Was it a fluke?
No, it was not a fluke. I knew about you. I knew you were coming. It was, call it whatever it is, divine intervention. But it happened, and yes, we wanted to put that in there.
Well, speaking of divine intervention, I love the way that you showed just the sweet little, talking about Jacob, the wrestling, the prayer before it was cool how you did it. It wasn't overstated, but I like that in there. Did you put that in there?
Absolutely. I mean, faith is a huge part of my life, the biggest part of my life. So, it's important to to know that it drives a lot of these people, and a lot of the fighters that I talk with and deal with. Faith is the main component, and it really is. It is, and that would be exactly surprising to find out, but it is. And I wanted to put that one, and not in an overbearing way where you're just turning people off or whatever, but it is the truth, and that was important to us. So that's why we wanted to get that out there, and also make this an inspirational movie, but also a comedy, fun in every way. And we wanted to make it enjoyable for people, and people also to feel better about themselves when they left.
And I think that they do. I mean, obviously they felt better about themselves, they left, but it worked. Like, who knew? You've apparently loved this sport. Who knew that you would want to get in there and do that? It's brutal. I don't know why anyone would want to get beat up.
The dichotomy of that being so brutal and being funny and all this stuff was the trick of making it all work and having it palatable for people to watch and say, wow, this is really inspiring. It's not just about that, was the important thing to me. And that was exactly why I wanted to do this movie, And that's why I'm happy it feels like it came together.
Yes, and it did. And what would you say is the strong passion that God's given you? What would you feel like that, the journey you've come from as an actor when you started off, and now what is your passion? Has it changed? Or is it just...
It continues to change, absolutely. It changes, as I grow in faith and grow and keep growing as a person, what he instills in me always makes me better. And, and I can go back and look at and see my mistakes and say, boy, I keep, I made a mistake here, but look where I've come, and just keep trying to improve that. And that's basically what this movie's about, where this guy gets kind of complacent where he's at. And he was great at one time, whatever, but lost his way, and then he finds it again, and in doing so, inspires so many around him.
What is your favorite scene? Because there was a lot of good ones, and there was a lot of funny ones. What's your favorite one?
They were all different for different reasons. I mean, for comedy and stuff like that, I was laughing so hard when they had that food fight. That food fight just blew me away. And then there's moments with just Henry Winkler was just so great when he, the innocence of him and being thrust into this world, and seeing him deal with Boss Rutan, and that was the stuff that really made me laugh the most.
Well, for people that feel it's too violent or maybe it's not, is it? It's a film that all ages really can go to and enjoy.
That's what I kind of want. Yeah, I mean, very, very young, I wouldn't want to put it necessarily, but yes, I mean, for everybody, it's a really good inspirational movie. You can feel comfortable bringing your kids there, because I know I have young ones that if I don't feel comfortable bringing them to a movie, I don't want to sit there with them and I feel horrible. It's the worst feeling in the world. So I try to make movies where everybody can enjoy it and it's still got a great message and can move you.
That was fun. Aren't those guys great? Weren't they sweethearts? They're nice. It was much fun.
It was fantastic, and you are so good at this. So.
Oh, thank you, Isaac, for doing that. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And we have more of those available, by the way. But listen, you can watch this movie, Here Comes the Boom, still available on Amazon and Hulu, or Hulu. I think several of the streaming platforms. Look it up, and you'll see the place. Well, Holly, that's it. That's all we have time for today.
It was quick and easy, but we had fun, didn't we? I thought it was going to be fun. It was fun. Thank you. God bless everybody.
Bye-bye.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.